we're seeing some stunning 21st century spaces, third millennium learning spaces that don't have the cells and bells, the structures of those old factory schools that many of us experience. I mean, I remember going to the dentist when I was a kid, and I sure say wouldn't want it to be like that now, and I don't want my school to be like it was then either, and I don't want to drive a car with 1960s brakes, thanks very much. I want all the bits of my life to move forward, and that certainly includes my learning spaces and my relationship with teaching and learning. What I don't want to compromise on is the quality of learning and the ambition for learning, and it turns out that those old 8-box cells and bells structures were pretty disappointing, really. We had children coasting, good children coasting, and bad children playing up. Curiously, exactly what was happening in our old factories in the 1970s. We had, some of the workers that were the heroes to everybody else were the naughtiest ones, and we've still got that in schools. Factories have moved on. They've got an agility that allows them to work in a variety of different ways, and there is no one size fits all. Every parent watching this will know that their children, they're not just different. You've got 3 children, they're very, you do everything the same and you end up with different children. But on a Friday, if it's windy, they're different children to on a Tuesday. If the dogs died, they're different children for a fortnight. So children are different, teachers are different, our communities and cultures are different. How could we have possibly thought that one size would fit all architecturally? And it doesn't. We're just standing here by a rather nice thing from our independent newspaper. It's one of the big UK papers, and it's a head teacher talking about a petition that she had in her school. The locals turned up with a petition, knocked on the door, handed in. She thought, "Oh, jeepers, here we go again." She'd had enough petitions. These are brand new schools, just been opened as part of the design of them, and they're above all else, they're agile spaces. The petition was from parents just saying how delighted they were with the changing behaviour of the children and their performance and their engagement, and from people who lived near the school who'd had naughty children walking past for their whole lives, had now got scientists and engineers and sports stars walking past, and they just wanted to say thank you, which was she was just gobsmacked by, I think. You wouldn't want to trap children in a world that was defined by the last person to want to change. If car design was based on, we've all got somebody pretty ancient in our family who would be happy to drive their old Morris Minor forever. If we waited till they stopped being happy and then we designed a new car, we'd all be dead by now in crashes. And we got to keep up. The world in a recession is investing in learning like mad. My joy of my life is to flip from country to country and see really quite remarkable changes in learning. And if we're going to keep up, we've got to be on the same page. Trouble is, we don't know what that page is going to be like in 5 years' time and 10 years' time, and we're building spaces now that are going to be used by the great-grandchildren of the children who are in them today. They're not going to work unless they're agile, because the one thing we know in this is the pace of change is accelerating. Actually, if parents are watching this, just think about all the things that have happened in the last decade you weren't expecting. Economic collapse, changes in climate, suicide bombers who were happy to blow themselves up rather than to leave the bomb and run. The whole decade's been full of surprises. The rest of our lives will be full of surprises. We've got to build schools that will constantly surprise children if they're going to evolve the strategies to cope with a world of uncertainty. The old world of preparing children for certainty has gone, because we're not in a certain world anymore. I'll tell you what, the children in these spaces are stellar, absolutely stellar. You wait till you see how good they are.